What's up, guys? I'm making a video walking through the fabrication of a Ford 9-inch housing. This one's going in a Foxbody Mustang right there. It's going to be a little bit narrower than stock just because I want to be able to put a little spacer in there just so I can move it in if I need to. But I'm using leadmineproducts.com as I guess you can see it right here. That centers up the end, as you can see right there. I'm using their ruler, I guess it's called, and fixture. And the bar, I forgot where I got that, but it's like a ground bar, so it's perfectly true. Not perfect, but it's pretty close. But I just did the math. I'm about to cut the axle tube right now. Alright, I cut the axle tubes and I mocked it up and everything, and I took a measurement and it ended up pretty much right at 53 1/4, which with a 2.5 inch brake offset, it ends up being like 58 3/4 total length, which is like a 1/2 inch shorter than a regular Foxbody rear end. But I'm about to tack it up, I guess. Alright guys, so I put the first pass on the ends on both sides, and I welded the very top of the axle tubes on both sides. So I'm about to put a final pass on the ends and weld the rest of the axle tubes up. And then after that I can put the supports on. Alright, I finished welding the housing. Pretty much everything I put a root pass on and then a weave over it just because I want it to stay. And on this part I welded part of the housing that was kind of not welded all the way. Because I bought this center section prefabricated. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm about to put the supports on the back of it and fit them up. They don't fit very good, honestly, at all. But I should be able to cut them up a little bit and make it fit right. But basically, that's how it is to start. I need pretty close to no gap on it in order for it to weld right, but I think I can get it out of this part rather than making a new one. Alright, I cut this one pretty much as close as I'm gonna get it. That fit up is not super tight, but I'm gonna put a pretty big weld on it, so it's not really gonna matter. This one I did the first cut, but that line right there is where I'm about to cut it again. This is the final fit up. I'm about to weld it all up. Probably gonna do a root pass over this. I'm gonna weave over the whole thing just because it's got a pretty big gap, but should work pretty good. Alright, I welded them on and obviously it warped up, so I have this set up on my jig to try to keep it in check. I took the caps out so I can tell exactly where I'm at on it. It's not that warped on this side, but this side is pretty warped. But I'm gonna use a torch to fix that. If anything, I'll cut the end off. It doesn't really matter to me. But I put some weaves on this part in the middle. I kept the heat out of it except for that middle. But yeah, now I'm gonna go set it up to bend it with the torch and see what happens with that. Alright, I have it in the jig ready to heat it up. I made this little thing. It's basically just cradling the tube on the bottle jack. But Right now it's like about where it needs to be. I'm gonna heat up a ring around this, probably right here. See what happens. Alright, so I heated it right here the first time and it came up a little bit, and then I did it on this edge to try to bring it over that way, and it worked. And now I have it heated right here. I'm waiting for it to cool off now, but I think that's gonna be it. And I just have to move on to the other side and weld the brackets on after that. Alright, I heated it up and ended up closing the gap. This is what I have for right now. It's pretty close. The bar deflects a little bit, so I don't know how accurate it is, but I kind of have the average of the movement set up in the center. But I ended up pretty much only heating a couple spots over here to about like a dull red, like maroon colored circle, and then I just let it dry. I didn't put any water on it, but I have this towel with water on it sitting over this intersection, so this stayed pretty cool the whole time, didn't warp. But after it like cooled down pretty well, I put like the damp towel over it like that, and it absorbed a lot of heat. But I was really scared of making it brittle, so I didn't do that till it was pretty cool already. But I'm about to do the other side real fast, see how that one goes. Alright, the rear end is straight now. I finished building these. I basically bought the sides on eBay, and I cut this end, the shock mount, off of like it's like a stock bolt-on shock mount, but I cut the part that bolts on off, welded it up, and yeah, basically that's it. So I'm gonna put them up on the fixture like this and drop the rear end onto them so it's perfectly level, and then weld those on.